How are you doing, everybody? Welcome to the Mooney Project, a podcast hosted by me on the Mooney channel. So this podcast was so that I could express myself in a longer format than my usual, 10-minute, 7-minute, or even 20-minute videos on YouTube. I wanted it to be a bit longer. I had this podcast idea for about probably the beginning of when I first started my Mooney channel. Like in the beginning, when I knew I was going to use like commentary, and I wanted something similar to a podcast, and I had sort of no idea on how to start one until my dad actually helped me out and told me about this app called Anchor. It's a really good app. It is probably the only podcast app or software I've seen where it's so easy to start one that you don't even need like past training. You can practically get it started and done on there. This was probably the most anticipated thing that I really wanted to focus on. Like, this was the only thing I really cared about when I was making these videos, because I knew that back then I didn't really have the courage to do it, and I thought to myself, why not give it a try now. The main focus on this entire podcast series is probably you as a person, maybe, and then some topics about myself, maybe some topics about the world, and then discussions with maybe my friends if they even want to join in on it. You can listen to my podcast on YouTube if you can't download the app, or you can listen it to on the Anchor app. You can download it on your phone, or you can visit the website anchor.fm on your search engine. Now, if you're wondering why can't you put it on Spotify, I'm working on that. It says that one of the things I need in order to put it on Spotify is a episode. So most likely after this episode, I'll find a way to put it on Spotify, and you guys can hear me from there. Let me know what you guys want to hear on this podcast, because this is obviously what I started, and I've never done this before. This is like a whole new thing to me. And if I decided, why not I do this almost every time I upload, I might as well need ideas. And don't worry, I will still upload the content I do right now, like the content I have been doing ever since when I first started the channel. Like, I'll still do commentary, I'll still do like group discussions and calls with my friends, and reaction videos. But this is just for fun, as a side thing that I want to talk about. For the future topics and discussions I want to have on this podcast, the truth about how to be successful, that is something I want to work on. It's a future idea, and it's about the proper way on how you as a person can actually get things done in life and do it properly. Unlike some of the things that people tell you, most of them may or may not be true. So that's what I'm hoping for on the next time we meet again. And then another topic I want to talk about was what could happen in the next few years until we grow old. Like, could the world go into an apocalypse, or could the world end? I got this idea came into my head while I was hanging out with my friend, and we were talking about how the world could literally go into a lockdown right now. I think the conversation came from like something about the purge or something, but obviously if you know it, it's like you get 12 hours where humans could go and do illegal things or anything they wanted for like 12 hours. But we started talking about what would happen if the world had to go into a huge lockdown, or we had to literally evacuate. And we were talking about how schools haven't made proper precautions for that yet, how if you're outside, you could literally die if the world was to explode. So that's sort of what came up in our heads, and I thought to myself, and we were having the conversation. We were having the conversation outside, and I was like, "Oh my god, like this is the perfect idea for a podcast," because we were talking about it for like 5 minutes. That's and we can extend it for even longer, because that's how I wanted things to be. That was the main idea on how I wanted to start this podcast. I wanted it to start with interesting podcast that does get your mind thinking. When I got into this podcast thing, I did do my research. I actually went out and I researched different ways on how to start your podcast and how to get people to sort of notice what you're doing on the internet. And I was like, oh my god, I really can't do this. I went around, I searched up everywhere, and it was they said I needed like a whole like microphone pack, and I need like a editing software and all that. And I was like, I didn't really need to do that. I already have a mic at home. I already have a PC at home. And they said, if you're doing it with multiple people, you have to get more microphones. And it was like sort of, I was confused, and I didn't really, that sort of brought me to, it sort of made me feel down, because I thought to myself, I really cannot do a podcast. Like, I'm not the type, like, if you know me at school, like, I talk a lot, but most of the time, what I talk about is complete bogus, and I don't talk about important things. I usually just yell or something. But it sort of brought me down, and I didn't really want to do it. But then I realized that I literally can, and it's pretty easy to do it. And if you're starting a podcast of your own, it's very simple. You need to have good mic quality, a good quiet space. Now, this is my first ever episode, so if I'm going to have a bit of a weird echoey or car sounds outside, then don't mind about that. I'm gonna work on those later. But you need to have good sound quality. You need to have a good and interesting things to talk about, and not just ramble on and on like what I'm doing right now on this podcast. If I wanted to do this next time, I probably would do this next time. I probably make tons of episodes on this. This is just episode 1, and I know that I'm gonna be doing this not every week, but most of the time when I'm free and I don't have any homework, because I do want to balance the amount of videos I make that are normal to my channel, and then I also want to balance the amount of podcasts I make. And they're both related to my channel, but they're both completely different things, because one is longer than the other. And I am hoping to have a bit more interesting things to talk about than most of the pretty boring things that I'm talking about right now. Will I have people on this podcast? Probably, maybe, don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned. I wanted one of my friends, the friend I was talking about earlier, the one that was talking about me with what would happen if the world went into a complete lockdown. They said they didn't want to be out there. They didn't want their voice to be heard. I guess he's just like that, but I'm hoping to have other of my other friends that were also on my channel. I already had 2 friends on my channel, and I have a lot more, and I'll ask them whether or not they want to be on the podcast with me, because each of my friends they have their interests, and I think you guys would love to hear more of that longer on my channel. One of my, as you know, Dawson, he was with me on the NBA video, and he does like anime, so if there's any weebs that watch my channel, if you guys want to listen to Dawson ramble on and on about that, I don't know, just let me know. And then I also had Mariah on my channel, who I think she likes a lot of things, and I think she'd love to be on the podcast. I'm gonna go ask her. She already is running her own YouTube channel, so I'm not sure about that. I got other friends. We got Borna, as you know, he's a good friend of mine. He still has his YouTube channel up as well. I might ask him to also come on the podcast, because I'm pretty sure he has a lot of interest too. He likes soccer, basketball, video games, and I think he'd do a pretty good job on the podcast. And I have a ton of other friends too that you've never heard of, and I think maybe not, they'll be on the podcast as well. If you were to ask me on what if I were to sort of lose topics because not a lot of my friends want to do a podcast with me and I'll be by myself, then I'll have my dad. I have family members. I might even have my whole family. I might have my mom, my dad, and me talk on one podcast. But my dad says he's too shy to do it. But maybe my mom. I think my mom might like it. I think you might hear from my dad or my other family members, maybe my sister, who'd want to be on the podcast, because my dad does listen to podcasts. I'm pretty sure some of you do as well. My dad does listen to podcasts almost every day. Maybe sometimes when he's in the car or while he's cleaning the house, he does listen to it, and he is proud of me for doing this, and he also might even help me because he listens to it every day. My mom, I don't know if she's a shy person or not, but I'm pretty sure my mom would actually like doing this podcast with me. I'm not too sure on what she'd want to talk about. I mean, she does, okay, here's some ARMY here. Okay, if you're an ARMY, yes, my mom does love BTS. She loves them a lot. She bought like a Time magazine of them. I don't know, but she might want to be on the podcast with me and might want to talk about them. So as you can already tell what the vibe is, each episode is going to be very different. I'm not one of those podcasts that stick to one thing. I am a podcast that has multiple things. That's why it's a project, the Mooney Project. It's a mixture of different things, and testing out to see whether or not they could be good or they could be bad. I think another thing that wanted me to start this was, I was in class one day and my friend had his AirPods in, and I asked him, "Yo, bro, what are you listening to?" He said, I'm not listening to music, I'm listening to a podcast. I was like, oh, that's great. And I asked him, "Yo, can I have a listen?" So he gave it to me and I listened to it. It's called the Misfits Podcast. I think you can find it on YouTube. They're funny. They're really funny. And I listened to it until the end of class. Like, it was entertaining, and that's what I promised for my channel to be like. That's what I want. That's what I hope my channel can be like. That's what I hope the podcast can be like. I hope that it's entertaining and you could listen to it for hours, or not hours, but you could listen to it for a very long time, and you could listen to it while you're doing things around the house, or you could just sit in your room and listen to it by yourself while you scroll through Instagram or something. I do find myself listening to podcasts most of the time. There are a ton of podcasts I listen to. I listen to Impulsive. I listen to Off the Pill by Ryan Higa, and they're all very entertaining podcasts. And I sort of not copy them, but I sort of got inspired by them, and I'm sort of trying to I'd say it, but I'm trying to kind of imitate the way they do things. Logan Paul always has people on his podcast. He always has celebrities or inspirational speakers on his podcast. Same with Ryan Higa. He usually has his friends, or he also has celebrities too. He had Jeremy Lin when the Toronto Raptors won the finals. and he was on the podcast, and they talk with each other, and that's what I hope for my channel to be like. But I can't really do that since COVID-19 is here. Can't really have anybody over in the house, so I'm gonna usually do what I do on my last video, which is just have people on call and then talk to them that way. I don't know if I want to do it where I'll have a video of me, because in the Dawson and Mariah video, it was a video of me, and then while they spoke, I put a picture of them right next to me. I might still do that with certain videos, but I might also do that on a podcast. Like, I could have them call and talk to them for 20-30 minutes and then post it as a podcast, not as a video. But I could do both, and both would still work. And I'm pretty sure most of you like the video one instead of the podcast one. And also, what I like to do is give you guys maybe a minute or so to sort of relax from my voice, and you guys can do whatever you need and then come back to the podcast. So I'll do that right now. I'll give you guys a minute to sort of relax a bit, unless you weren't already listening. You can just relax a bit and do what you need to do very quickly, and I'll see you then. Alright, so I'm back, and that was a test. I just wanted to see how well you guys felt after like a few seconds of not listening to my voice. I'm planning to either make a 1 hour long podcasts, even though most podcasts you see are either 20 minutes long or they can be 30 minutes long. That's what I want to do. That's what the plan was. Not really to make them an hour long, because if I were by myself, what would I ramble on for an hour? If it was like something I really love, or it was like something important, I'd probably make it to at least like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. I see people on the internet who love something so much, and then they say, I could talk about it for hours, I could talk about it for like 6 hours or something. Now, I do believe that, but I tried talking for about an hour and it doesn't work out. I sort of get straight to the point and then finish it off there. But I think episodes like these that would become 1 hour are probably going to be episodes with friends. They're going to be episodes with friends who want to talk about things that they would also love talking about, or friends who that I have, and we both have the same interests, and we would talk about that for a good solid hour as well. I told my dad that I was gonna do this today, and he said, "Who's gonna listen?" I told him my subscribers, my friends, everybody's gonna listen. Hopefully everybody listens to this. This will be released on the same day as right now, as of recording. Hopefully it will be released on the same day. It's sort of that moment of realization that what if nobody listens to this, and you spent 30 minutes editing and then recording a podcast that nobody will even listen to. I actually advertised this to, I think, 3 of my friends, and I don't know if they're even subscribed to my channel. I know two of my friends are subscribed to my YouTube channel, and I don't know if you guys want to listen to this podcast. You don't really have to. It's just sort of like the side thing aside from all the videos I make that are different on my channel. As you know, you can go onto my Anchor platform on my Anchor podcast, and you can actually favorite it. So if you are, please press the star on top, and it will be favorited. And I'm pretty sure it will send you like notifications of when I post a new podcast. I don't know whether or not that's how it works. I'm still new to the platform right now, and let me tell you, this podcast not even sponsored, but Anchor is really good. Like, I only realized it about 2 days ago, and it is extremely easy to use. Very user friendly. You could pretty much record from your phone without a mic, or with those like earphone mics, or you could do it on your computer. And it's extremely good. You have like intros, you have mini transitions, you can also have like music playing, and that's like probably the coolest thing I've ever realized, because any other platform probably would have needed you to pay for something, but for this is perfect. Very good mic quality. It actually sounds a lot better on the platform itself. I'm not using it right now. I'm using Audacity because it's Audacity kind of helps my mic out a bit more than Anchor. But I've tried it on Anchor, and it's really good. Very clear sounding, and it I'm pretty sure if you were to like stay quiet for a little bit, it sort of like mutes it, so that you don't hear really like the loud amount of, ambience that's going around in your house, or you don't even hear cars. And it's really good. I recommend you use it. I recommend you download it, and like my podcast. I've linked my podcast. I'll link it under this video. I've linked it on my channel. And I was actually originally planning to make a video, like a normal video that you see on my channel with a video camera. I was like trying to advertise it, saying, guys, go check it out. It would be like a 2-minute video of me explaining it. But I was like, you know what, I'll just release the main episode 1 of the podcast right now, just so y'all can sort of experience right away on how it's gonna sound. Because if I didn't really want to make the video, and I sort of look bad right now, I'm very, very tired. I had school, just came out of school, had a test today. Don't know how well that went. And my parents are wondering what score I got, and I'm kind of scared. I originally wanted to make the advertisement. Yeah, I wanted to make a trailer. But I didn't. But I just thought, I might as well just release it right now in a full explanation. On Anchor, you can actually release a trailer on your podcast right away. Like there's a button there that says "Make a Trailer." You can literally start it right now, and sort of make like a little short explanation of what it's going to be on Anchor itself. But I might as well just post and publish the first ever episode right now. Another thing about it is you can distribute your Anchor podcast on different platforms. Now, this is the reason why I'm not starting to put it on Spotify yet. I sort of wanted it because I wanted it to be on Spotify. Like, I do want it to be on Spotify. Almost every podcast you know of on YouTube or anywhere else is on Spotify, because it's it's very popular, and it's almost around the entire world. Everybody uses Spotify, almost everybody. It says that you need an RSS feed. Now, my Anchor does give you that link. It gives you an RSS link for you to distribute your podcast to Spotify. But I tried it. I copied the link and I put it into Spotify, and it said something was missing. It said it was missing an episode and an email. Now, it didn't say either or, it just said it was missing an email or an episode. So that's why I want to release an episode now. And right after I release this episode, I am going to try to see if I can copy the RSS link and distribute it to Spotify. If you are a small podcaster anywhere, and you had this problem before, does it really need like the email? Because it said that for me. It said it was missing an email, and you're also missing an episode. I'm pretty sure that once I post this, I am gonna be okay. It's gonna be on Spotify. But I'm not sure. Again, this is a whole new thing to me. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, and I'm still trying to figure it out. What will I do? What will I do for the rest of my channel in the next few months until summer? I'm still going to keep my channel alive. Unlike what I did before, I left for 9 months, and now I've come back and started posting again. I am wanting to give it a shot and give it my all. Give it my all and give it a shot on what I can do and post on my channel, because obviously there's not a lot of videos to react to anymore. If you have any other videos for me to react to that you know that are funny or are controversial and have reason to be talked about, you can link them to me in the description or in the comment section down below. I've already reacted to, I think, 3 videos, 3 or 4. I don't know. I think I reacted to 3 or 4 videos. And then I left my reactions there, and I went straight to talking about specific things. I talked about COVID, I talked about the 3 monoliths, I talked about the NBA, and then I've also talked about Mariah and her YouTube channel. Going back to those discussion videos, as you can see, I also sometimes use gameplay footage over or under a voiceover. That is to be honest, probably my first attempt at doing a podcast or a commentary. Putting my voice over certain video game clips, and they're usually at least 7 minutes or 10 minutes long. They're not very long. That's why I'm doing this podcast, so I can express myself a bit more and a bit longer than what I usually do on my channel. I'm still gonna do commentary videos like that that are 10 minutes long. Again, this podcast will not change a lot. This podcast will not change anything that goes on my channel. It'll barely do anything that happens on my channel, because I already know that y'all are going to be like, you'll start only posting podcasts now, you're not going to be recording anymore. I know you guys are going to get bored of this. That's why I won't be releasing podcasts almost every day. I'll only be releasing them at least, I don't know, every 2 weeks or every once a week. But my normal videos will be posted almost every 2 weeks on the weekend. Podcasts like these are much easier. Don't need the camera to be set up. Literally all I need to do is just boot up the computer and put on the headphones, and that'll be all. Because this is easier to edit. My YouTube videos, they take a lot of time to edit. It may not seem like it, but the last video, my most recent video, it took me about 2 days to edit. First of all, I had homework over the weekend, and then I also have other family business to deal with. So that's why I can't really get videos like those out right away. Unlike this one, all I practically have to do to post it on Anchor, all I have to do is just input this audio and then publish it. I'm pretty sure it publishes pretty quickly since it's a podcasting software or platform, and I think they want to release episodes right away. But as with YouTube, it is quite longer, and on my editor that I use, it does take a lot of time to export. Like, you have no idea. It could take at least 2 hours for this podcast, because it's going to be a 30-minute podcast. You have no idea how long this is going to take. And even posting on YouTube, that's going to take forever. It has to render everything and get the HD sort of, graphics up. That happened on my most recent video, and almost every single reaction video that I had, because when I edit, I have to render the actual video itself and then render my audio. Yeah, and that's how long it takes. Unlike Herman, who is a good friend of mine that also posts. I think I've told you about him several times. Very easy for him. All he has to do is whip out his camera, put the clips together, and then post it on YouTube. He doesn't have a specific mic, but his content is very fun to watch. That's the difference between me and him. And I hope that my content will get better with this, and will be more interesting for all of you to listen to. We're coming at the 30-minute mark here. I'm going to close out by saying, yes, I do hope to keep this podcast alive. I do hope to keep my channel alive, and I do hope for all of you to enjoy this. Thank you for joining me right now. I'm quite proud of myself. I've survived and talked for 30 minutes straight, and I hope to get this video out later tonight or by tomorrow, depending on how long, again, the exporting time takes. But thank you guys so much for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, if you can download the Anchor app or go to the website, please star my podcast. And I'll see you on the next video or on the next podcast. Thank you. Peace out. It's Mooney.